Welcome to today's chat. We have with us Meenakshi. She is a doctorate in occult science and parapsychology and also the founder, director for Folklore Magic Academy for Occult Science. Welcome to the show, Meenakshi.
Thank you.
So, we had been talking about a lot regarding what is occult science, what is magic. But, I was just wondering, like, how do our ancestors, play a role in the kind of life that we have today?
I'm sure you must have heard this about ancestors and ancestor. See, basically it is the Chinese follow it. In hoodoo and voodoo it is followed. Even in Indian Tantra is followed. Even in Agurvedya it's followed. So basically we are born into a family for a certain purpose. We are not just born into a family just out of the blue. So we choose that family that we want to be born with.
We choose?
Of course we choose. We are given a choice. We are given a choice before coming into this world that to pay for our sins or pay for whatever we have done in the past karma, that whether we want to do the regression here or in another level. So what happens is we choose this world that is because it is faster here. So whatever we have to go through, whatever pain that we have to go through and whatever the rest of the things that we go through here because it's faster. In other places, it's slightly longer than this and maybe prolonged.
Other spaces?
There are different spaces, there are different frequencies, there are different vibrations, there are different levels. See, the closest of the level, the lok that we talk about, there are different loks. There are 125 levels of where all different kind of vibrations and energies are. The closest being is Chandralok. Chandralok is, or Pitralok we say, where our ancestors are. So we are in direct connection with them in some way or the other. So they are closest to us. And we are also born in clusters, So whenever we are born with those 80, 100 families that we always meet, we come up with. There's always a reason why we meet them. So whether you've been very good friends with somebody, whether somebody has hurt you over a period of time, you've learned the life's lesson, one of your lessons from there. And the biggest pain or hurt is given to you by somebody who's been very close to you. Those are all planned because you're supposed to learn that from them and move on. So they are supposed to hurt you. So that is what the plan is. So that is a greater plan, So you have about those 80, 100 families that you keep meeting, or you are born with them and then again you go back and you again come back with them. So it's a never-ending cycle that goes on.
So it's like a soul family, right? That you are talking about. Is that a soul family and ancestors? Are they similar?
It's not soul family. It doesn't have to be a family. It's a cluster of people that you're born with. Okay. So they can be your friends, they can be your close ones, they can be your immediate family, they can be your distant family, they can be just somebody who you meet.
So like, for example, I'm just trying to understand.
For example, it can be you.
Okay.
We met.
Yeah.
We met for some reason. Okay. Obviously, it is going to put you through an ascension. It is going to put me through an ascension to the next level. Okay. So we met and we spoke about so many things. We are doing workshops together. You're learning so much on the occult science. You're learning so much on the unseen forces. So you are also learning, right? True. So maybe it was a plan, right? You were supposed to meet me at that point of time when we met, and then we are supposed to take it forward. So whoever comes into your life at a certain point of time, they take you to the next level. Okay. So what I'm talking about is your destination is the same. You keep going from one step to the other. Say for example, from ground floor, you have to go to the 10th floor. 10th floor being your destination. So you are going to each floor, meeting a different set of people, learning certain things, then going to the next level. It doesn't have to be ecstatic, it has to be painful. Okay. So you learn through pain the most. Okay. So you're supposed to go through the 10th floor, and all that the entire journey from the first floor to the 10th floor is your ascension.
Okay. So in that case, like whoever we meet, they can be from our previous lives also, right?
They are from your previous life. So that is what I said, every time you'll be born together. Every time you'll be meeting, there'll be certain aspects which they will have to, they left somewhere. Maybe they had given you something and you have to give it back to them in this. So there has to be, the balance sheet has to be cleared, Your balance sheet has to match.
So it's the same relation that we come back with?
No. it's not the same relationship.
Like for example, if someone was your boyfriend or your husband, for example, you come back with them as in this birth also they are your husband?
Not necessarily. They can be your friend as well. They can be a friend, they can be a guide, they can be whatever relationship you had in your previous life, whatever is left of it. There is some account balance is not done, it's not come to level. So they'll have to come back for whatever short time or a long time and to balance that. So they will meet you for that balance. Why do we say ancestors very important? As we were discussing, in China it's important, in Hoodoo tradition is very important. They say that their more ancestors are more powerful than any god, you know. They say that if you have to go through, if anyone can protect you, it's your ancestors who can protect you before any god can. So we have so many Devi Devtas, we have deities that we follow, we have so many deities for protection or education or knowledge or whatever. They say before any of these deities can protect you, your ancestors are going to protect you the first.
So we should worship them.
You should at least remember them to begin with. What happens is the moment somebody passes on to the other side, they are forgotten. They are forgotten very fast. You see, you'll be crying for a while, you'll be remembering them for a while, and after that you're going to be so absorbed in your own work and everything, you'll forget them. So that is not something that you're supposed to be doing. You're definitely supposed to remember them, you're supposed to honor them, because of them it is where you are today.
So is it, a lot of times we hear this, that you know, when you are thinking a lot about your grandfather, grandmother, you know,
Who's passed on.
yes, it's not a good thing because you're not letting them, you know, go to the next level. A lot of people say this, right?
I am not very sure about that, what people say, but I remember my grandparents who, because of who, they've been very spiritual people, you know. My grandparents, from both my paternal and maternal ones, they are both very spiritual people. And I remember them every day. I have an ancestor altar at home where the ones that at least I know or remember, and even if I don't have their photographs, any of their things that they possibly used at that point of time are kept there. Because in the morning, the first thing I do is I light up a candle in my ancestor altar. That is remembering them. So I cannot do without it. I cannot do without remembering them even a single day, because I think whatever I am today, whatever knowledge or wisdom I have got in this field at least, is because of them. Because I always wanted to do this. Because I always wanted to study this, and I always wanted to go an extra step with this, so that I can help many people who possibly need that help.
So blessing from the ancestors can actually like help us in our next ascension, as you would say. Similarly, for example, if there is a curse in the family, like it had someone in our, you know, in our bloodline had been cursed, so that also affects the person's, you know, destiny somewhere, the person, you know, the child who is born to that family.
So are you trying to say if somebody was cursed in your family,
Yeah.
and that is the altar that you're having, is that going to
Affect
mix
the
up?
yeah.
See, when you're in a physical form, you're different. You're bound by time.
Mm-hmm.
So we are in this body. That is why we think about time and the existence of time.
True.
If you're not a part of this body, you're not going to be thinking about that time,
Mm-hmm.
right? So when we're talking about ancestors or anyone who's passed on to another lok, you know,
Mhm.
they've passed on from this material world. They are not going to have the same feelings that they have had for you.
Okay.
I mean, even if there's somebody you didn't like, they're not going to be like negative energies for you at any point of time,
Mhm.
because they're a part of your bloodline, and it is their duty to protect you. So they will protect you.
So how do we connect to them? Like for example, we are all very busy with in our daily mundane kind of work that we do. How do we actually make it a habit? Like, you know, we recall them. Is there any process as such?
See, I mean, I leave coffee for them. I mean, spirits are very fond of coffee. If you're talking about ancestors also, when you have to connect to them, they're very fond of coffee. So for ancestor offering or any kind of spirit offering, it is said that coffee is best, because it speeds up faster. Your communication becomes faster. The second thing that we can do is we need to remember them. We can keep an ancestor altar at home. It's very important that we have their pictures, at least the ones that you know or the ones you could connect to. Maybe they were, maybe you are very close to your grandparents, or maybe your favorite uncle that you've been close to. some people like that, and have them around, and definitely give them water every day. And if there's any special time that you make things that they liked at some point of time, whenever, I mean, if you are making it maybe even once in 3 months, it doesn't have to be on a regular basis, but definitely keep it in front of them. See, what happens is how they protect you and how they even help you in getting money. Is they are supposed to help you getting money as well. That is what the Chinese believed, you know. So what you have is, there's something called hell bank notes, you know, which is joss paper. You can actually, whichever level they are in the Chandralok that I keep saying, they also need finances there. They also needed the money that they required here, they needed there also, and they will at least know that you're sending them money.
So they also need money?
Yeah, they do. It is believed that they do.
Okay.
See, there is no stamp on that. I haven't seen. So later on, maybe when I pass on, I'll know. But what I can only say, what is believed and what is practiced, and people get result out of that. Okay. We are talking about that. So they send them joss paper. You burn joss paper, and you write down their names on joss paper, and you can send it to them on higher denominations. There are various kind of joss papers that are available online, and people write their petition on top of on the joss paper, and they burn it.
So what is petition?
Petition is something that you have these legal cases, right? You have these legal petitions that come up. So who is the person, who are the people involved in the case? Both parties' names are there. Now you have both parties' parents' names are there, where they live, everything in details. So you have a petition which is a legal petition, where everything is mentioned in details, point by point. That is exactly how a petition should be. And you write everything point by point, whatever your requirements are, whatever your problems are, whatever you're going to do after that, and burn it. And it is supposed, and you need to visualize that they are there. So you need to burn it, and it's believed that it reaches them.
This is quite interesting. So we will know more about it when you do show it to us. Like, how do we write on the, what do you call it?
Joss paper.
And where is it available? Like, as you said, online, yes.
You can get it online.
Okay. So basically it is not something which we can find in India, right?
It's not something that you find them off the shelf. Okay. I'm sure there might be stores. We keep joss papers. So I'm sure there are stores who keep them, and occult stores who keep them. Not all stores are supposed to keep them, but yeah.
So we do have workshops also. Like, I know that we do workshops on. With this, we take a short break and we come back and see how to write on a jaws note, right? That's what, right, Meenakshi?
Right.
Yeah. So Meenakshi, today we are going to learn something for our ancestors, as we were discussing, right?
Yeah. So we were talking about joss paper. This is what joss paper looks like. This is the highest denomination. Even you will forget the count, the number of zeros that you see here. So, and it's the largest one. So I have got it personally made, and I keep a bunch of it because I have a lot of my clients who put in their requests for their ancestors. So I do the working for them. On the other side, you will see it's written hell bank note, and it has got all the. So basically, joss paper is something which is in the Chinese tradition.
Okay.
So everything is very Chinese there. So what you can write is, you can write late whoever so and so, if you're talking about grandmother and grandfather. So you write your grandmother's name first, then you write your grandfather's name first, and you have to be very careful where you're burning it. You have to have your incense on. You can have a coal disc. I sometimes burn just cinnamon on that. So you have that cinnamon fume, and it grows faster. So what you do is, you write it down. Then you have a tin under that. You have these cookie tins, cookie jars and cookie tins that you have. So you can burn it inside that. So you basically roll it up like a fan. You're supposed to roll it up like a fan. After writing whatever you've written there, and whoever it is for, you write it down, you roll it like a fan, and then you fold it from one side, because it's going to burn very fast. So anyway, how it burns, it also denotes how fast they're accepting your money. Oh. Sometimes it can even stop in between. So otherwise joss papers are supposed to burn very fast. So you burn it, you start burning it, and then you have to imagine that your grandparents are standing at the entrance of the door and that they are receiving it from you. And then you put it in the tin and let it burn, and the ashes you can just throw it out of the balcony.
Welcome back. As we were talking about ancestor, and we also learnt how to write on the jaws note. Now let's let's address certain problems which people generally face. If, for example, someone is not doing anything for their ancestor, how can that create any kind of or can attract misfortune, as we can say?
I ask people if they are going through blockages for a very long time, say I have seen people who go through blockages for 15 years, 20 years, and for a very long time, where they seem to be going through a lot of problems and nothing seems to be all right at all, no matter what they try. They have, and in some point of time, they have tried all kinds of rituals, all kinds of pujas, they have tried astrology, they have tried many other things which they have done, after which also they haven't been able to conclude or get out of that misfortune. In most cases I see, in these kind of cases, since it's my research, I take every case like a research work, and I see that somewhere down the line their ancestors have been forgotten. See, we are supposed to do tarpan, right? In our country we have tarpan that happens. So when the day that you give water to the ancestors, the entire bloodline who have passed on, and a lot of families don't do that. See, I believe in giving water to them every day because it is something that I think I connect to. So not necessarily that everybody has to do that, but definitely I see that it changes. Things change around when you leave them water, when you leave them the things that they like. Like for example, if you during the festivals you used to buy them clothes, right? Or in special festivals you buy them clothes. I still do that. I still buy and I keep it for them. I buy it for them. After that, I can give it off to somebody else. Okay. That doesn't matter.
That was my next question. Like, what do you do with those? Like, what you offer to your grandparents?
For example, if it is for your grandmother, you can wear it also. Like if you're buying a sari for her, I'm sure you can wear it. She'll be very happy if you wear something which is offered to her, then you wear it yourself. But if it is for somebody else which you can't wear, then possibly you can donate it, you can give it. See, sharing is always good as a spiritual practice. When you are talking about getting something, see for example, you're doing very well in life and you're making a lot of money, you've made a lot of fame, name, success. If you're not sharing any of that with anyone and you're only doing things for yourself, there is no point of any success like that, because then you're missing out on the generous part, Thanksgiving, gratitude, you're missing out on that. You have to share whatever good things that are happening to you with others. You have to give. You have to learn to give. As a practice, people don't have that as practice. Not everybody can give.
So there is one question which people generally ask, that where to keep the photo of their ancestors. A lot of people, we see that they put up their ancestors' photo, in the temple, like the puja room or their house. So what is the do's and don'ts for that?
It definitely should not be there with the deities. It should not be there with the Devi and Devtas that you regularly do offer your pujas or do normal rituals at. It should not be, because they are not deities. They are a part of your family who used to be with you at some point of time and they have passed on. They definitely don't become deities. Okay. So they will remain humans only. So in my house, I have a separate altar for the deities, and where I keep their photographs. I light a candle there on a regular basis. I do incense there, which is specifically made for ancestors. There are certain mix of incense which I create specifically, and I burn it there.
And you keep talking about altar. What is an altar?
Altar, you don't really have to have a very elaborate altar anywhere in the house. An altar is a space which is specific. It can be a window sill also. It can be as small as a window sill, where you can keep a few things which is separate from a few things. Okay. So your altar cannot be the top of your shoe rack, you know. So even if there's space to keep on top at the entrance of the house, a lot of people have, like people especially who have practice, and I tell a lot of people to have a money altar at home near the entrance. So some people ask me also, if my money altar is on top of my shoe rack, will that do? It will not do.
Okay.
Because it definitely will not do. Because money altar is supposed to be a space specifically dedicated to money and anything that would attract money. And then you can have cowrie shells. You know, in our culture, we used to use cowrie shells for money. So we can use cowrie shells there. And you can have any kind of other essential oils or herbs which relate to money.
So as we were talking about cowrie shells, like how can that attract money?
Because cowrie, see, it has the energy of the ocean firstly. Ocean is vast. When you're talking about ocean being vast, and it has the energy of water. Sometimes we talk about money energy being water.
So generally we keep seeing a lot of things, you know, nowadays people say that you can bless the water and drink the water, and that will, you know, somewhere heal anything that is, you know, wrong in your body.
You can keep that water in the ancestor altar or in your money altar, and that will have the energy of the ancestors as well as the money. Okay, so you have to keep things that will resonate with money. It can be cowrie shells, it can be pyrite that I talk about, it can be malachite, it can be citrine, it can be just coins that you have which you don't use, it can be coins from different places. It doesn't have to be your own country coins. Anything which has got the abundance part. It can be rice. Rice is very abundant, so you can just have a bowl with rice and cowrie shells decorated. You can have rose petals on top of that. You don't have to have like freshly plucked rose petals. You can have dried rose petals as well, because they also have the same energy as of the fresh rose petals. A lot of people keep cinnamon. They say that cinnamon attracts money.
Yes, cinnamon.
Cinnamon does not attract money. Cinnamon does not have the properties of attracting money. It has the properties of speed. It is heated, like it is hot. Okay. So it will speed it up. It will protect. It has got protectional properties, but it does not have money related properties.
So what are the ingredients that have money related property? One, you said that that is the cowrie, right? Another is the rice that you said.
There are plenty of things which has got energy of money. Anything, gold has the energy of money, silver has the energy of money, copper has energy of money. All metals have got energy of money. Okay. So your money altar should be near your entrance, where you can keep a lot of things decorated. It needs to be nice, it needs to be pleasing to the eyes, and it needs to be something that you relate money to.
A lot of golden, you know, dust, silver dust, sparkles rather, you know, glitters, right? So those are used quite often.
They are used in hoodoo tradition. It's not used otherwise. They are used in hoodoo tradition to bring in that spark back. You know, say for example, money is coming to you. Money is coming to you normally, the way it comes. Maybe you're a salaried person. It keeps coming to you in that normal salaried point. So you're not getting any increase. So if you add a glitter to that, any of your money, even in your wallet, if you have a bag full of coins, if you add little bit of glitter to those coins, it will have that extra boost in that. So glitter adds what? Glitter adds a sparkle to it, right? So it is just a connotation that if you add sparkle to your coins or sparkle to your wallet, it will have some sparkle in your life.
So it's nothing to do with chant something and then put the sparkle on it, right?
No. You can just with your normal intention with which you're doing.
On this note, I would like to highlight this point that it is only the intent that can create a lot of difference in a person's life, right? Absolutely. And that is what folklore also talks about, you know. It talks about empowering people. It is not about that you have to relate to things always without understanding it. So we talk about things from a perspective of science, right?
Absolutely. You need to study the ingredients, you need to study the herbs, you need to have, see every herb or every crystal or every essential oil, if you talk about, or any energy that is there, they all have their chemical part, physical part and a magical part. Right. So there are magical properties to it, how it can heal. Now a lot of people talk about essential oils being healers. So they use essential oils.
So what is
healing.
Magical property? How do you add that?
Nowadays, they are absolutely easily available on the internet. Everything is available. But anything extra that people want to learn, They can obviously talk to folklore. But other than that, on a different note, everything has its energy. So if you're talking about basil, basil used to be given in the Indian tradition also as kids. You make a paste of basil and then you have it with honey. So it is supposed to heal you from within. So it's like many other things have got properties which heal you from within, which has got that healing property. Like turmeric has got healing properties. So once you have it with your food also, it heals you from inside. Pepper has got a protective property. So when you're having pepper with that intent, you can have that pepper and add it to anything. It will give you that protection.
With this, I'll ask you a question. Generally, you know, I have read about it. There is something called big money oil. So what is it about?
It is just a different ingredients that are used to a particular oil, which is supposed to increase your money in a bigger way. I mean, when we are talking about attracting big sums of amount of money, then we are knowing that there is a certain recipe which is made, which is energized over a period of time, and that is how we use it. You can, you know, dab it on a check, and then write the amount that you are wishing for, and then you can roll it up. You can roll it up and keep it wrapped up in a green cloth or an orange cloth and carry it in your wallet, and then it's supposed to bring you that big amount of money that you are looking for. There are 3 steps of money that I follow. So you have to first attract the money, then you have to make the money stay with you, and then you have to expand the money. So without these 3 steps, money doesn't have really all the steps put together. You're just earning money and earning money. It doesn't work like that. So you don't have the same kind of energy in attracting money. In attracting, it's a different energy. In making it stay with you, it's a different energy, and making it expand is a different energy. So there are 3 different formulas for all 3 kinds of steps of making money and keeping it with you and expanding money.
So the big money oil can't be something that we can buy off the shelf as a big money oil, right? It has to be energized.
See, there are various oils and their recipes which are available, but definitely if it is for a particular purpose, you can buy it off shelf also. But if there is a chance that you can energize it with your name and the purpose that you are buying it for, and then possibly that would work better. See, the more information that you have about yourself, like as we were discussing, writing about petition and all that. So in the petition, what is there? As much as detail as possible. So you are releasing some energy to the universe. You are talking about the universal energy helping you and getting things done for you. So the more information that the universal energy will have, the more clearer you are about your result that you are looking for, the better the result is going to be.
So when we were talking about that big money, okay, so now we put a amount which we want to attract. So do we have to specify anything like from where we are expecting the money or anything like that?
See, any kind of affirmation or any kind of manifesting that you're doing through your mind, it has to be very specific. You just can't ask for large sums of money. You can ask for any sum of money, that really doesn't matter. But you have to be specific. It should be from work. Otherwise, there are times that money can come from insurance as well, and probably the news is not going to be very good. So when we are talking about attracting large sums of money, it needs to be very specific. Are you looking from a sale of a house, or are you looking for it from a job that you've been waiting for, or is it some kind of other thing that you've been waiting for, or the purpose needs to be very clear. Otherwise, if you just leave it open that I am looking for so and so amount of money, it can happen from any kind of source, and the news might not be very good.
Okay, so it's basically like you have to be very clear with your intent whenever you are asking for something or whenever you're looking for manifestation, right? You just cannot be vague about it.
Absolutely. We'll talk about it maybe some other day, because I'm sure the time is running up, and we will discuss this at length. The power of words are very important as far as manifestation and magic is concerned.
So that is what we call as affirmations also. So with this, we come to the end of the episode. But if you want to know more about us, you can always go to www.magickinblack.com. And if you want to contact us through email or through phone number, you can get those details on the screen. With this, we come to the end of the show. Thank you so much, Meenakshi. Until then,
have a blessed life.